Old Dominick Distillery is a family-owned craft distillery located in the heart of downtown Memphis, Tennessee. The distillery offers a range of spirits, including vodka, gin, and bourbon, in addition to their newly released Tennessee whiskey and bottled and bond Tennessee whiskey. Old Dominick's flagship Tennessee whiskey is a unique blend of corn, rye, and malted barley, aged in the heart of downtown Memphis, where the hot and humid summers and cool winters work their magic on the barrels over time. Old Dominick Tennessee whiskeys are available now in Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi, with additional state distribution coming later this year. To learn more about Old Dominick, visit their website at olddominick.com to find out where it's available near you, or check out their online retailers to have it delivered straight to your door.
With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight, live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it's my good friend sitting around the flights of the round table. I've got Chad.
Except, yeah, there I am.
There's
Hey,
Chad.
what's up?
What's going on, man?
I'm having a cougar bait out of my nice new Bourbon Life glass.
Look at that fancy, beautiful pint glass. Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. Oh, well, I forgot it's on manual focus.
It's on manual focus, man, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate the love. We've got Matt. What's up, Matt?
Hey, not much, Mark. How you doing over there?
You know what? If we make it through this episode,
Hey, if we just make it through round one,
oh man,
I mean, we'll be like the first people to ever not come back for our own round two or round three. So
yeah. So we are recording video tonight, as people can tell. Of course, they may not tell because this may just suck and there may be no video.
It's got to be released. I mean, whether good or not, it's got to go out there.
Oh.
yeah, in theory, we're recording video.
In theory, yeah. If everybody could see the entire setup, I posted a picture just so people could see the nightmarish experience I had last night trying to set this all up. Phillip is here with us too, man. What's going on, Phillip?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. I missed a month, so I'm happy to be back.
We're glad you're here with us. And checking in from, wait, I gotta do this. Boom, checking in from Texas tonight. We got Big Chief with us. Big Chief, what's going on, man?
It's good down here. It's nice and warm. I listened to your guys' episode the other day, and you were like, it's 21 here in Kentucky, and when Matt's sitting by the fire, and I'm like, fuck that.
It's cold again here today, man. It was not, you know what? Spring came and then spring left. It was false spring, right? Is that what they call it here in Kentucky? False spring. So we had spring show up and then spring left. And then it is not coming back anytime soon. But we got some stuff poured up here tonight, and I think the first was this. Chad, is this yours or Phillip? Was this?
This
This is
Phillip.
mine.
Okay. Then Phillip, you know what? What did you tell us about? Because look, you're on camera, man. So
So this one's actually a blind pour. I can tell you that it's 80 proof, and it was distilled and bottled, it was bottled in 1972.
oh, shite. All right. So this is an old port. Matt, you know what? Since I've already got you on camera.
Oh, hey.
Go ahead and tell us, what do you pick up on the nose on this one, man?
I pick up a lot of corn coming through with this. It's got, to me, the nose is kind of high corn. There's a little bit of mint on the tail end of that, some of vanilla. Then I'm getting some butterscotch as well.
Gotcha.
For 80 proof, it's got a lot of flavor, a lot of aroma. It's certainly not watered down.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to throw it over to Chad. Chad, you're on camera now, man. Welcome back to the Bourbon Life Podcast.
I never left.
Oh, no, dude.
Yet. No, I agree with Matt. A lot of butterscotch, a little bit of, I mean, it's almost like a cornbread, like pudding. I mean, it's a sweet, doughy nose. It's got a little ethanol. but it's a funky like this. You can tell this is old. You smell the trapped air in there.
The trapped air.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know. There's something.
There's something.
There is.
Phillip, what about you? I'm throwing it back over there.
Mine's the complete opposite. I'm getting like really sweet, but it's like apple, a little bit of caramel. I mean, to me, this is really like a caramel apple. That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
Very strong.
All right. Well, you know me, I get caramel and vanilla. No, I'm just kidding. I get butterscotch was the one thing that jumped out for me, Matt, for sure. Some of the grain as well, but it does have kind of that older bourbon smell to it. So maybe you're onto something there, Chad. You know, I'm so sorry, Mike, that you're not participating in these pours with us. We got to plan this better so we can get you samples down
Tell
here.
you what I don't taste. I don't taste no damn tacos is what I don't taste.
Okay, just so everybody knows what Mike's talking about. When we have Bourbon Life Crew episodes, I usually will get Chewies for everybody. So we hang out ahead of time and we have some fajitas or tacos or whatever, maybe a beer or two.
My grandma calls them fajitas.
Yeah, there you go. Fajitas. We'll have some fajitas and just have a good time. So Mike, I'm sorry, man. Will you forgive us for that?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm down here drinking whiskey by the glass in one of my new glasses. So I'm as happy. What's that saying? Is a hog and shit. Yeah.
Well, you know,
I'm pretty happy right now.
Mike, you had a pretty good week last week, right? I mean, you got to go over to New Orleans and participate in the New Orleans Bourbon Festival. You recorded a couple episodes down there. You want to talk a little bit about what all went on while you were down there?
My God, what a time. You know, when they say there's not enough water to wash off New Orleans, they mean it. But seriously, yeah, New Orleans didn't disappoint. The New Orleans Bourbon Festival, I had a great time. In the daytime, they had seminars pretty much from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4. Some great speakers down there. Jessica Ann, Bourbon Insider, she gave a class on barrels. Very insightful into what she does and about barrels, how they're made, how she deals with them, how much it costs to ship a barrel to like Europe and stuff and to get it back over here. A lot of stuff. And she was funny as hell. Her seminar was. I loved it. Peggy Nell Stevens, Lisa Wicker was there talking about her new distillery, Lexington Brewing and Distilling.
So, hey, Mike, just real quick,
drinking bourbon.
What did Lisa have to say about everything that's going on there at the Lexington, well, whatever they're calling? I forgot they changed the name, right?
It's not All Tech anymore.
It's not All Tech. So they changed the name. But what else? What did she have to say? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, they really pushed their they're ready to drink bourbon, I guess, that drink, the cola.
The bourbon cola.
Bourbanola.
Bourbanola.
Yeah, we had that on the show. Right,
Yeah.
Matt?
Yep, we did.
Yeah.
That's good.
They really were pushing that a lot. Their other mixed drinks they have. And she talked about the rebranding a little bit. A lot of changes are going to come normally with her, and she was pretty upfront and honest with that. You know, when a new boss comes in, you know, changes are going to happen. I think she's taking everything for what it is right now, and then we'll do it slowly. But she did the same thing at Widow Jane. She didn't storm in there right away and change everything. It little gradual changes, which was nice. Heather Wibbles was there, Cocktail Contessa.
Oh, yeah.
Cocktail class. I just love that. I got to see Michael Veach talk for a little bit. A lot of great speakers, a lot of great knowledge was there. I got to meet Jackie James. She was really super nice.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, she's from out in
I
California, right?
Yeah. I learned a lot of stuff about social media for an old dog like me, how to invite a collaborator. So that was good for social influencer.
Hey, Mike.
And then at nighttime,
quick, did they tell you anything about setting up cameras and how to make your podcast into a video podcast by chance? Was there any cheat sheets or any information they provided about that?
No, they. I wish they did. I wish they did.
You and me both.
Man, I need, because everybody there were like, why aren't you guys on YouTube? Why didn't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I'm like, why don't you add about 50 hours to a day for me? And I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I could drink more whiskey then.
Yeah, no shit.
But no, yeah. A great festival. At nighttime, they did a couple events. And then me and Vivian had some listeners from my old podcast and from the Bourbon Life and from the whiskey trip search us out, talk to us. We went and hung out with a bunch of them. I got to interview Matt Ray from Sazerac House. That episode released today. What a great guest I had. He was perfect.
Yeah, he was. It was a great show, man.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man. We got you loud and clear.
Oh, I just, okay. Got to do that. And then I had two of my friends. They are cops. We hung out with them the whole weekend, and just a wonderful time in the Big Easy there.
Awesome, man.
I just loved it,
Yeah, that's very cool. So, there are other bourbon festivals. I mean, we're not in that season yet. Of course, we just went to the Bourbon Con in January, which was a lot of fun. I'll let Chad. What was your experience at BourbonCon?
A lot there. I mean, going into that, we all, like, everyone I talked to who was there was very much like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is going to be that great. Just outside looking in. But once you got there, and there's a lot of media people there, a lot of just, good variation of, I don't know what to say, like, not consumers, but just a lot of bourbon personalities. But I mean, it was awesome. I mean, going from me having a not VIP pass to getting into VIP to, I mean,
yeah.
Dave, hanging out with Dave, Bob, and
yeah,
I mean, just it was a fun time. So that was one of the first whiskey festivals I'd been to. Ever since like the first Bourbon and Beyond. So ever, yeah.
Yeah. It was a great time.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Mike. No, go ahead, man.
I was going to say, it's a definitely different experience when you go to a festival where you are just a participator. You buy your ticket and stuff, and then you go and you're part of the media, or you got that VIP experience, really ultimate VIP experience. It is just wild to me how many people came up to me and said, "Man, where's Mark at? And where's Chad? Where's Phillip? Where's Matt?" And I was like, "Well, they're up there in Kentucky in the cold.
Somebody's got to work."
This guy is straight up lying right now.
People love us, man.
But
Come
no,
on.
a good. Yeah. I got to wear my shirt one night and one day down there. I don't usually like to wear it to those festivals, but I got it on tonight to kind of show it.
Yeah.
This T-shirt is the Bourbon Bullshit T-shirt. Let me say that again. This is the Bourbon Bullshitter T-shirt.
Hey, Mike, it sounds like you might have
been.
been drinking a little bit tonight. Are we on course with that?
Yeah, a little bit. But this is a veteran-owned and operated business, and this T-shirt, all the money from it goes to USA Cares that supports veterans. It's sold on Cruise Customs Flags website, so pick yourself one up today.
Cool, man.
Support some veterans. I always got to give that pitch out there.
Yeah,
but yeah. Chad, like you were saying, man, it's a great experience to get to go to a whiskey festival and have that pretty much all access to the people that we love so much, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's different because, going from, and not to sound like posh or anything, because, I still just look at it as I'm a guy who kind of rides the coattails of other people. But I mean, it is totally different. Just to be honest, it's totally different the way the conversations you have. I mean, as a consumer, they're going to give you the standard, this is the brand, this is the history. But, like we're standing there talking to the guy from O.H. Ingram, and he's just laying all this stuff out there, what their plans are and stuff. And it was like his first actual event he had gone to. So you could tell that this was new for him, but he just wanted someone to talk to who understood, because no one was going to their booth at first. And he was like, hell yeah, people who get it, like, I can't wait to spill some beans. So,
Yeah, I agree. And, I mean, Matt, we went to the Bourbon Festival this past year, and that was quite an extravaganza. Wouldn't you agree?
It was awesome. It was super fun to just be a spectator. I know the entire time we were kind of walking around saying to ourselves, God, we should have a booth. We could be promoting here. We could be some forward-facing presence here, but I don't know. It sounds like a lot of work. It was just
Working like a booth is terrible.
That's right.
It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work.
pouring our half-ounce samples. And
yeah, it was much more fun just to walk around and enjoy it and get to see all the people that we've been introduced to and that we've had on the show and that we've met and only heard about and wanted to meet and wanted to connect with. So what a good time.
Yeah, I agree with that, Matt. It was a lot of fun just to be able to walk around and drink. I mean, we did. We had a good time because we were just part of the crowd. And it wasn't, we didn't set up a booth. We didn't do anything at the festival. We just hung out and got to walk around and have a good time with that. So, Phillip, throwing it back to you. So, your experience from working,
it wasn't. Yeah,
right?
it's not terrible. I mean, I was exaggerating a little bit. It's a very long day. If you're the person behind the booth and you're pouring samples and you have to give the same spiel to every single person that's coming by, because you have a pitch to the brand and you have to explain what the brand is and why it tastes the way it tastes, and it is a long, exhausting day. And the second half of the day, everybody's visited a lot of booths, and you got people coming up and they're drunk and then they want to stand there forever, and it does get very frustrating. So I recommend just buying a ticket and going to the event. It's a lot more fun because you all get to drink.
That's right.
I wasn't drinking.
That's right.
So.
And we do have, because we have the Bourbon on the Banks will be coming up again at the end of September, I believe. And then we've got is that right? Yeah, end of September, and the Bourbon Festival is coming up in mid-September. So there's going to be a couple opportunities to go out and do some cool stuff with that. Mike, are we going to do a presence down there at the Bourbon on the Banks, you think?
I think we're going to have a little bitty tent there. There is going to be a distillery in the tent. And this is a Bourbon Life, the whiskey trip tent. It's not going to be separated. We're going to be together. But you won't be able to miss it. There'll be a giant bar in there. I think we'll have some bottles there. I am coming up. It's my 50th birthday, the night of the VIP event.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome.
The 6th. Yeah, so I'd like to just have one hell of a party there all weekend. But if you are a listener and you're going to come, make sure you get your tickets now. Make sure you go ahead and make your Airbnb reservations, hotel reservations, because it's going to sell out quick. That's the thing about Frankfurt, is there's not a lot of hotels. There's not a lot of Airbnbs there. So you want to make sure you get all that. But
yeah,
we will have a distillery in there yet to be named, right, Mark?
Yep, I think so. I think that's the plan. So, but I'm just going to throw it out there right now that I will be drinking. So even if we do, or when we do have a tent set up, my goal is still to be drink. At least the VIP event, I think we may be doing a live podcast, or not a live, but we'll be recording a podcast there. I hope that's the plan. We're working on that. But yeah, for Saturday, for the actual event, there will be a tent, but I will be drinking and entertaining. So myself, Matt, are you on board with that, man?
Listener, come hug them.
Yeah,
You will be entertaining yourself.
exactly
I
right.
like that. That's well put.
You're on board with that, right?
Sure.
Hey, and since I've already got you on camera again, tell me what you think in terms of the palate and the finish on this unknown mystery bourbon.
On mystery 80 proof 1972 whiskey. It's it tastes dusty. It's got a lot of those kind of older tastes that I'm picking up. So a lot of corn, actually a little spicier than I was thinking too. Once kind of the sweetness of the corn leaves through, some oak and vanilla, kind of like a sweet corn pudding or like corn tortilla type flavor. And then there's like just this old kind of funky, like best I can kind of describe it as like burnt rubber type
Okay.
flavor, like pencil eraser kind of flavor.
That's okay. I get that. I mean, so Phillip, what about you, man? Since you're already on film too.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I mean, I think it's really good.
And this is your bottle, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to tell you how I got this bottle. So I got this bottle from, if anybody's in Louisville and they're at the Oxmoor Mall, stop by the Oxmoor Smoke Shop. It's a cigar shop. Go in there and see Joe. He's a great guy. Yeah. That's who sold me this bottle.
Really?
So yeah, he had it. He was like, hey, I looked this up. He was like, it's not worth a whole lot. Do you want it? So I was like, absolutely. So I got this bottle for $30.
I feel like you're giving away the secrets that which I would still like to obtain.
We've about tapped him out. So that's where Chad's came from too.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So what do you pick up on it? I mean, what do you?
I still get a lot of that apple that I was getting on the nose. I do second what Matt said as far as that dusty kind of. You can tell it's got some age that it's been in the bottle for a long time. Me to more, it's like when I think the term dusty, like I kind of have it's almost like a dusty drying taste.
I got you.
In the mouth.
All right, Chad. Now that you get your
now that my headphones are back on.
Headphones are back on, dude.
There we go. I kind of second a little bit of what Matt said about the bread pudding. There is a bit of a leatheriness to it, like a funky old barn, musty wood note. I don't even know how old the whiskey itself is, but I think just the fact that it is, been in the bottle since you said it was from 1972.
Yeah, the tax stamp on top is 1972.
Tax stamp. So yeah, it's been closed up for a while, but it definitely has that like Matt said, that dusty. It just tastes. It tastes like it's not recent. I like it. I'm a fan of it. I think I remember what it is, and I can't believe if I'm right that it is that, because I would never drink this purposefully.
Yeah, I've never bought a bottle. This is the only bottle of this that I've ever purchased ever.
Interesting, guys. All right, so my tasting notes: very sweet, very corn forward. Talked about corn pudding. I can see that combination. That makes sense. But yeah, I get the grain, which leads me to believe that it may be a young, even though it's 50 years in a bottle. I think when it was bottled, it was probably younger. But there is a lot of nice flavors. There is that rye spiciness to it. Not much because, obviously there is a low proof, 80 proof is what you said, right?
Yeah,
very soft.
Yeah. So it is very soft on the palate, but you still get that bit of heat from the spice, the rye that I think comes through as well. So I do pick that up. As far as guessing on this, I have absolutely no clue. So do we want to take guesses? Matt, do you have a guess?
Oh, I'm going to guess that maybe this is like an old Crown Royal or like some old blended.
Wait, don't show. Wait,
something.
you can't do it. Hold on.
All right, is my guess.
Chad already knows what it is. So.
Well, if you know what it is, then just say.
Yeah.
Old Crown Royal.
It's Old Crown Royal.
It's Old Crown Royal. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, so Phillip,
did you see it?
No, I did
Phillip's
not.
going to give us the big reveal here. There we go.
Look at that bottle,
Wow.
man. Like,
There you go,
look at
man.
that.
The big reveal.
Yeah.
The Old
Nice.
Crown Royal bottle. Matt, nice
And
job,
there was
man.
no evaporation or anything.
Wow.
I literally just cut the tax stamps right over there before I poured it.
Very nice. 50 years old. So you knew, you didn't know.
So he told me, like, God, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
'cause-
And
Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna remember that shit. A month ago, hell.
Yeah.
I forget what I tell people to do at work 10 minutes ago. But like after I drank through half the glass, I was like, oh yeah, this has that super soft, sweet corn, light rye. Like this reminds me of Canadian whiskey. And then I was like, oh, because it is a Canadian whiskey.
It is a Canadian.
I was kind of thinking the same. It has like kind of those blended qualities of like that high corn, but a little bit of spiciness and low proof, but that kind of old dusty.
Yeah, and everybody that says, "Oh, we need to update our packaging," they're still using that same purple box from 50 years ago.
Hold that up there, Chad. I got you on. So yeah, isn't that crazy? 50 years ago, man, the same old bottle. So I'm going to throw it back to Mike over there. Mike, have you ever had any old Crown Royal like that before?
Probably out of somebody's suitcase.
Mike, if you want to sample this, I'll
Yeah,
have Mark
man.
pour one and get it sent. to
Yeah,
you.
I can pour you one and send it down
Yeah,
to
I
you,
would.
man.
Yeah. Hey, I'd love that. I used to be a Crown drinker. I still drink a little Crown today, but that at Crown, it's very popular down here in Texas. I'm just shocked by people that still don't know that the whole story behind Crown here in Texas. But
Yeah.
they don't. Most consumers just go in the liquor store and buy what they're going to buy. They're not us, right? They're not whiskey nerds. That's just who we are. We know too much about whiskey, I guess. But I got to handle some old bottles this weekend, and it took everything to open them jokers up. But
Yeah.
there was a 1975 Jim Beam Superdome decanter that still has the tax stamp on it. It looks like it's 100% intact. And then there was a 1988 Old Granddad that still has the tax stamp intact.
Yeah.
And she's doing the right thing. They're kept in boxes and they're kept in a closet, which is super cool to me. She said she's never going to open them.
Very, very nice. Well, guys, we are at the end of round.
Hold on. I got two things I want to add. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong camera
Number
angle.
3,
There we
yeah.
go, man.
So
We need to hire. I'm just going to say right now, we need to hire somebody to come in and run this switcher so I can switch back and forth the video.
I'll do it. No, sure, pay me. So two things I wanted to do. One, Crown Royal still has the same UPC. Like you scan. This is the Total Wine app I just scanned it with. The same. This, I swear to God.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then for those of you who may be curious if this is really Crown Royal, they used to be owned by Seagram's. They have since sold off, and you can see here on the bottle. I don't know if this will.
I was gonna say I don't know if it'll show up or not.
Nope, that's right. It's on manual focus.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, anyway, the House of Seagram is proud to present Crown Royal, a regal blend of treasured whiskeys of ancient lineage, of born skill and mellowed by the passage of time, each imparting rare characteristics in it. To enrich this royal offering, the identical superb whiskey has been long cherished by Canadians and visitors of Canada. Bottled in Canada, imported by Seagram's. So this is legit.
So real quick, I'll just tell you from my wonderful break the box there next time, Chad.
That's where money's at.
From the studies that I've recently done, I learned that Crown Royal was actually started by Sam Bronfman, who was the owner of Seagram's, and he did it to commemorate the visit of the royal family from England to
That's
Canada
why there's the crown.
back in the 1950s. So he started that brand specifically to...
Who else did Seagram's used to own, Marcus?
Who else did Seagram's used to own? I don't know, Chad.
Oh, well.
Next round, we can talk about that.
Stick around and find out.
There we go. All right, so let's take a quick break. Let's get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute. From our good friends at The Stave comes Lexington's newest hot spot to meet up with friends, have fun, and eat some great food. District 7 Social is a social and beer hall, but it's a lot more than that. Located in Lexington's Distillery District, it's the home of Lexington's first duck pin bowling lanes, and it also features a self-serve beer wall. That's right, self-serve. And if you want more, they've got it. You can try one of their delicious cocktails from the bar or order some great German fusion food from their on-site eatery, Germanish. So what are you waiting for? Be seen, be social. District 7 Social.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, the Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring the local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me tonight live here in the Bourbon Life Studios around the flights of the round table, it's my good friends, Chad.
Hey.
I've got Matt.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good. And I've got Phillip.
I'm going to take this moment to, since I didn't want to steal Mike's shine with his shirt, but so since I was sick last week,
Oh, no.
my wife found this for me at a Goodwill. Thou shalt not COVID thy neighbor.
Your wife was throwing some shade at you, man.
Yeah, that's right, man. No doubt. And we got Big Chief
Woo.
from Texas. What's up, Big Chief?
I'll make you famous, baby.
Oh, man. I'm afraid you might make me famous for all the wrong reasons, though, man.
He promised you a job, didn't he?
Hey, Mike, you know what? We realized during the break, Chad graciously pointed it out. He was kind enough to remind me and tell me that I forgot to ask you what you were drinking in the first round. So that was my bad. So what I'm going to do is, even though we got something poured up here in the Bourbon Life Studios, you're drinking down there in Texas. So let's see, what is it that you're drinking on round 2 tonight?
Well, round 2, I'm drinking Mythology Hellbear out of Colorado. Yeah, I've had this before. I've actually reviewed this whiskey before, but this is a blend of 3 different whiskeys with mash bills of 2 to 3 year rye, 95%, 5% malted barley, a 4-year bourbon, 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley, and a 5-year bourbon, 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. It's 90 proof, and the bottle cost about $50. I just like the logo on this bottle, and I love the name Hellbear. It makes you feel like a man.
Wait, I got to make sure I got this right. Did you say Hell Bear?
Hellbear.
All right. Well, good. Well, I tell you what, we'll come back to you on. You can tell us about the nose and palate and all that. We'll include that in the conversation. And I'm sorry I forgot to do that on the first round with you. So let's talk about this round. I think Chad, I think you brought this particular bottle, and we're blinding these first 2. So
Yeah.
So Chad, tell us what we got in this second pour, or I guess you can't.
Well,
It's a blind.
no.
Tell us about this second.
I'll tell you what I smell in this second
That's
pour.
great. I'll
Yeah.
throw it to you first. Go
All
ahead.
right,
Dylan.
that works. I get a lot. I mean, it's just a caramel butterscotch bomb. Very, and I say this all the time to people, and I don't know if people ever get it, but like brown notes, like brown sugar, brown butter, caramel, butterscotch. It is just all those sweet, decadent notes. There's a little bit of tobacco in there, and it's got a nice oak presence to it. This one's 90 proof, so I feel like that it comes across pretty well at its proof point on the nose.
So is this, because the first one we drank was from 72? Is this a new one, or is this the old one? Is this
This is also old. This is
Okay.
from around this similar time frame, maybe slightly later, but yeah, we're still pushing 70s, 80s.
okay?
Pre us young people's birthday.
Yeah.
Pre before you guys were even born.
Yeah.
Let me just go on record to say this: you guys suck. Okay, so Matt, I'm going to throw it over to you, and you're nosing that pretty hard, and everybody can watch you now. See, Matt, everybody can watch the magic as Matt works his magic, nosing these bourbons.
That's right. This is how BS is created right here. First off, it's got a really gorgeous color.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it does.
A really, really nice
Can we-
dark mahogany, really oily. And it's really clinging to the glass quite well. Looks really, really gorgeous and pretty in the glass.
As ZZ Top would say, she got legs, right?
She does.
That was a song that probably came out before you guys were born, but that's okay.
To me, it kind of noses like I don't know, something about it makes me think it might be a wheated bourbon just on the nose. But I pick up, there's the presence of corn. I get a lot of vanilla, kind of that like a toast, like white toast, like toasted bread type aroma, like a wheat toast that I might get. A little bit of honey. I get a lot of also a lot of vanilla, a lot of nougat, almost
Nougat,
like
yeah, 100%.
like a white taffy, like a vanilla taffy or
Okay.
like a sea salt taffy type aroma on it as
A
well.
little saltiness.
There is like a little briny,
Briny.
but like confectionery brine
Yeah.
on the nose.
All right, Phillip, as you're
What else am I going to add? It smells delicious.
yeah. All right, so here's my 2 cents worth. The brown sugar, everything you said, Chad, was like spot on. I'm all that just makes sense to me.
Yep.
Super sweet. Matt, I'm going to disagree with you though. I'm going to say this is a rye mash bill bourbon, not a wheater.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say that. But wait a second, hold on.
You brought that up, I wanted to throw in there because right when I first nosed it and then it sat there for a minute, I did get almost like a Thera G6 smell, or like a icy hot, like right off the bat. I kind of got like an icy hot, like a minty.
What was that first word you said?
Thera G6.
Are you sure about that? Is that a word? Are you like,
that's an old people's cream.
No.
Yeah.
Did you say like a G6?
Yeah.
A fly,
Mark knew what it was.
Fly like a
Shit,
G6.
he's been using that stuff for like 20 years.
Oh, God. I'm not even sure where to go. Hey, let's throw it down to Mike. Mike, tell us a little bit about what you're drinking. Gosh.
So this old hell bear right here, I love the bottle. It's that old elk style. On the nose, I got a little sweet corn with big lead chewing gum.
Ooh.
You know, that starchiness smell.
Yeah.
And then fresh picked peaches with Starburst candy sweetness. If you ever smelt a Starburst candy. And then on the palate, it had it was super light, like a feather, with some honeysuckle flower dancing on the tongue, along with some cream corn sweetness. If you ever had cream corn,
You making a mistake almost sounded like it needed an adult rating.
I know. It had just a hint of spice on it. And it was like drinking a orange zest tea with a little citrus. And then it kind of finished medium with a little bit of that Colorado high hug on it, you know?
Yeah.
A nice different whiskey for me. I like blending the three whiskeys. This is actually an American whiskey is what they call it, because it is blended a couple different whiskeys. You know, it's good to change it up and not drink that same stuff every day. You know, if you're just drinking rye every day, then drink what you want. But old Big Chief says, I like variety. Like when I go down a cereal aisle, I don't get the same box every damn time. I get something else.
Chad always
I got
gets
money now, and I don't have to get the white box.
Chad always gets Cinnamon Toast Crunch, don't you, Chad?
I do. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Mark. Occasionally I'll get French Toast Crunch.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, man. So, hey, do you guys have anything you'd like to talk about this round? I mean, I was thinking there's some ideas that had been tossed around, so maybe there was a topic. Chad, I think you maybe had something. So let me throw it over to you.
I do. So in the just since we're tasting dusties, what as consumers should we be saving for future dusties? Like what modern day brands do we see? Not betting on them not making it, but what do we see as might be a changeover? So what companies do you think we should start collecting or looking into or paying more attention to that might be maybe not last another 20, 30 years? They might have a 10, 15 year run. Something could happen. As unfortunate as that is, that's just the world of business. What brands do you guys think we should be looking into to save for down the road?
I see looks at Matt and Phillip, and I'm going to turn the camera over to those guys. So who wants to jump in on that?
Well, I'll say immediately, probably Angel's Envy.
Okay.
Because, they're the founders are now kind of out of the picture. So obviously the flavor is going to start changing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. And then I would probably also say Peerless. They haven't been picked up by anybody. They're still, the family brand and things like that. But I could see they are gaining popularity. I know when they started out, their bottles were really expensive with their rise. But I could see where that product is going to continue to grow. And it's going to end up, I feel like it's going to end up being purchased by a bigger brand. And it's just like the Early Times Bottled and Bond. I haven't tried the Sazerac version, but people are immediately saying it tastes different.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it does.
Well, so not to change subjects, but I mean, like all that was sent from Brown-Forman to Sazerac in that purchase. And from what I hear, it was totes. Brown-Forman kind of had the leeway to say, like, we're going to cherry pick these barrels from these warehouses, kind of get the profile we want. They sell it like here's all the shit. Here's not barrels. Here's just totes of whiskey. So it's really not fair that people are crapping on 1792. I mean, it does have a different taste, but it's not so far off that people who are like, I taste banana and like Laffy Taffy, like 1792 small batch. They're just saying things to kind of stand out.
Gotcha. So, but Chad, so you're talking about brands that are independent now that are producing things that maybe, like Phillip was saying, would get bought out, things would change over. Is that kind of what you're talking, or just brands that would eventually just collapse or fall away or just go out of business because of the economy?
Either one. I mean, like what, kind of like right now, we're in 2023, and for the last 10 years, maybe not even that long, really, people have been chasing old Stilton Weller stuff,
right?
Old Pappy Van Winkles, all that, and they shut down in what was it, the 90s? Yeah, I was gonna say it was like 92, 93. And so they've been gone almost 30 years, which really it is a long time, but it's not a long time in the world of bourbon at the same time because there's been a lot happening. And then you got people who are chasing old MGP, OKIs, old Smooth Amblers.
Sure.
So that kind of stuff. Like what is, and it's, MGP is still here, but there's not big double digits. So like what modern day is that equivalent?
Gotcha. Hey, Mike, I'm going to throw it to you, man. You got any ideas or thoughts on that?
Yeah, if I was somebody, a listener out there, and I was going to chase something right now, I would go buy the hell out of some Wilderness Trail, and I think maybe for the next 8 years, but I really think that brand is going to do some stuff that will shock you over the next couple of years, because they were bought by a bigger brand. Now, Pat and Shane, they laid down a shit ton of whiskey. They distilled a lot of whiskey, and they built a lot of warehouses, so that's going to last a while, like you guys were saying. But at the same point, 8-10 years down the road, when that's sold, that's going to be it of what Pat and Shane laid down. And then the big boy comes in, and who says they're not laying down different stuff now? I know Pat and Shane still have an interest in the company, but in a couple of years, that's not going to be the case. When that company turns Pat and Shane off, where does the company go? Does it change? Does that recipe change? They're going to cut some corners. They're a big company. So I had some time with Haley Perros from down there, and I just got a feeling things are going to change a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. I mean, because Campari brought them out, so now Wild Turkey and Wilderness Trail are both owned by Campari. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with their stuff. But what they've been putting out has really been really good. I've enjoyed everything that they're doing, and we've talked a little bit about that, the buyout and what that might mean for them. But that's really a solid choice there, Mike. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm actually struggling a little bit coming up with different distilleries and things to chase. I've got to echo, I think, what Phillip was saying with Peerless. I think that's one that, especially some of their first early stuff, could become really valuable down the road. I know they've got quite a bit laid down, but if something happens to them, they get bought out, some of their stock gets allocated elsewhere.
Yeah,
that could become an issue. I think there's always looking at chasing old MGP or older Barton or even older Jim Beam product, finding anybody that might have some of that older stock from those companies. Always a good bet, but I could see even some of the smaller distilleries, like some Texas distilleries, like maybe Still Austin.
Damn it.
Would be one that people could start chase. Frey Ranch.
Yeah, I was thinking
if
Frey
something
Ranch
happens to them. But I think a lot of smaller independent distilleries could maybe start to go that way. Kings County in New York could be another one where we're looking. Starlight.
Yeah. Wait, did you say, what was that? Starlight Distillery? Yes, Matt, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I think, gosh, the market is ripe for the taking on some of these, and it'd be nice to see a lot of them stick around, but gosh, who knows?
So let's morph that question just a little bit and think about, obviously bourbon is booming at this point. There's no question about it. Everybody's spending, millions, hundreds of millions. Blue Run's getting ready to do the $50 million distillery that pictures came out this week. We all saw that on Instagram, social media. Kind of crazy, right? Buffalo Trace is doing $1 billion expansion with everything they're doing. Heaven Hill's done a $500 million or whatever expansion. You got all these distilleries. People are putting so much money into things. Are we going to see, do you think, a continued growth of small craft distilleries, or are we going to see the bigger companies start buying up these smaller companies or private capital groups like Pritzker that came in and bought Bardstown Bourbon, and they just bought Green River, so they bought those two up? Are we going to see that type of situation going on? And then you're going to see these larger conglomerates or these larger companies that are buying up these smaller brands, and it's going to make it economically just more difficult and harder for these smaller craft distilleries to operate. Chad, throw it to you.
So I do think we will see more buyouts, but it's got to be strategic. Like I don't see, as Heaven Hill is I think they're they own more brands than anyone, defunct or operating, than any other company out there. But that's just for one in case. And here in 2050, if they want to re-release whatever brand from the 1910s,
right?
They have the power to do that. Now, like Campari as a spirits group from Europe buying up 2 bourbon brands, so I'm sure with Wilderness Trail, this wasn't just something that happened over a weekend phone call over a glass of wine. This was something that they've probably been chit-chatting about for at least last several months to a year. I think we will see a couple buyouts. I think that's definitely going to happen. That's inevitable. But I don't know that I see any more cross branding like MGP with Luxco and Heaven Hill acquiring. I can't think of who it is that has has Few and Widow Jane. It's got to be a strategic process for those companies to do it, and most of these companies are expanding so much within themselves, it just would not be financially profitable now, especially if there's going to be a plateau in the next 10 years.
Yeah, I gotcha. Phillip, Matt, what do you guys?
I'd say I second what Chad said. There's not a whole lot of brands where I could see that it would make a huge impact. Like with Wilderness Trail, you're buying the brand, but you're also getting the property.
Right.
They have a lot of land. Land's hard to come by, and that's what Buffalo Trace. They're not buying brands; they're buying real estate.
Sure.
And so I think a lot of these brands, they're pumping out so much. I mean, like Buffalo Trace now has warehouses down in Laurel County. That's 2 hours away from Frankfurt. Yeah. So they're hauling barrels that far. I can't imagine that they're looking at other brands to buy. I think they took the Early Times brand, the Bottled and Bond, because it's another lower shelf to compete with some of the Heaven Hill stuff. But I think a lot of these big brands are going to just let the other ones die off, because I mean, how long can sourced brands continue if the big boys just quit selling them barrels? Then they're out of business. So really, they have their small brands already that they're selling barrels too. So
yep, good point. Matt, what do you think?
But isn't that why I look at it, and I think maybe that's why the big brands are buying up small distilleries, is because they want to start sourcing. They want to get in on this profit, because right now everyone that's being bought up is a distiller, which is a little bit tragic. If you are actually producing your own whiskey, you become that much more popular for a buyout, rather than just a brand that's sourcing, blending, finishing product. And so I think it's almost a little tragic to see a lot of the bigger companies buying up these small distilleries, because they might be taking some character out of it, because they're going to want to turn their supply available to people, because someone who wants to start a brand is going to come to them and say, oh, I want these barrels. And they say, well, let me tell you, we've got these barrels from this distillery now that are under our umbrella that we can offer you. And it does offer different product to these other distilleries, because now they have access to older barrels, other barrels and things. So it expands the reach of a lot of smaller distilleries, but I think it's going to change a lot of the character of some of these brands.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that's Wilderness Trail puts out fantastic liquid, don't get me wrong, but I think Campari looked at that. I mean, because you got like Luca Mariano, they've got 7-year-old juice that was contracted still by Wilderness Trail 7 years ago, and Wilderness Trail, they've just broken their 8-year stuff themselves. So that shows how far back the sourcing and contract distilling game goes for them. I think for Campari, like Wilderness Trail's 100% an investment. Like they're playing the long game. They're, $600 million is not nothing to shake a stick at. So they're going to see here in 10, 20, 30 years, what is this shit going to be worth? Because, if a glut does happen, that's when in 30 years.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think, man?
I mean, contract distilling and sourcing has been around since the beginning of whiskey. With Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey, American whiskey, it's going to keep happening. So I don't think the faucet's going to get turned off on that. I do think these brands might try to buy up in different states besides just Kentucky or Tennessee. You know, somebody mentioned Texas. Well,
That'd be
TX
Matt.
whiskey sold out too.
Yeah.
You know, so could one Texas brand start buying up Texas brands and build themselves a big company and stuff? That could happen. Suntory might try to buy themselves a Texas whiskey, or they might try to buy themselves a Denver whiskey or a whiskey out west like Washington State or something. So I think we're going to keep seeing it. It's like the beer movement. You know, Budweiser and Coors, they all tried to swallow up these small breweries at one time, and they could only take on so many brands. So, you know, history repeats itself over and over and over and over. And it's not, that's not what kills whiskey brands. It's bad management that kills whiskey brands. Back in the day, if you listen to Michael Veach and them, it's bad management, bad investments. That's what kills whiskey brands. So we're probably going to see that happen again, and more stuff will get sold off, and, you know, families fizzle out. They don't want to be in the business no more. Who says Heaven Hill is going to be around forever? Nobody knows that. Who says Sazerac's going to be around forever? There's somebody, always a bigger bully out there that has the deep pockets. There's probably a billionaire out there right now thinking about, well, I'm going to buy this brand right here. I'll buy the whole damn thing. Somebody in Japan might have the money to buy something right now that we never thought of. So, you know, I don't know. Sourcing's going to be there, and contract distilling is going to be there, in my opinion. There's too damn much money to be made out of that. There's always going to be a guy or a gal that wants to start up a whiskey company, and they need some whiskey, and they don't have the kitchen to cook it in. So,
that's a good point.
You got the money, honey. Come bake me a cake.
All right, very good point. So I tell you what, guys, we're at the end of round two. Let's get final thoughts. Well, we didn't get final thoughts, so let's talk about the palate and the finish on this mystery pour. That Chad, since it's yours, man, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Yeah, so tons of like chewy caramel, vanilla nougat, kind of like a cowtail. I don't know why, but like whenever I took a sip of it, I thought cowtail. That was just one of those things that stuck with me. It's got a nice like mild oak note that just is there from start to finish. It a little tannic, not too much, good leather. I don't know. This is it drinks like butter. It's oily, it's viscous, it's soft at the same time, but there's a lot of texture to it. You can definitely tell that back then those lower barrel entry proofs were something, you know, to look into, versus most people now doing 125.
Right.
So
All right, you guys down there, whatever your names are, Matt, Phillip.
All right, I'll take a crack at it. This one's weird because it's changed on me quite a bit.
Okay.
At one point, I was picking up a lot of really tropical fruit, like pineapple and guava, kind of like sweet flavors like that. But then it also has kind of that corn pudding sweetness, vanilla, the nougat come through that Chad was talking about. Mark, I think this drink's a little bit in that rye realm. There's some mintiness. But I'm actually going to stick with my...
You're sticking with the wheater?
With the wheater.
Okay.
I think it's got a little bit of a tannic, drying effect. Little bit of oak tannins as well coming through on it. I'm going to stick with wheater.
Okay. What about you, Phillip?
I'm not sure if it's rye or wheat, honestly, because it's very like, it just transitions a lot.
Yeah.
I think this is another one where you can taste it and you can tell it's definitely got some age. Like, it's been sitting in that bottle for a long time. It's another, I don't know what it is about where it's sitting in a bottle, but very, very tannic.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what this bottle is. I know it's like one of four, so I couldn't tell you exactly, but I know they're not that old.
Okay.
None of them would be, super old.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's very good. I really enjoy it. I think you can, once we find out what it is, you can tell a drastic difference between the brand that it is now.
Okay. Well, here's my thoughts, because it drank very sweet. It drank very, not corn, but the sweetness from the corn. Much brown sugar, a little bit of oak, a little bit of the rye spice comes through to me. So I'm going to still say that it's a rye mash bill bourbon. I'm going to say it's a little bit older, maybe 6 to 8 years possibly, because it does have a little bit of that kind of older flavor to it. But I'm going to stick with that rye mash bill. And Mike, we already heard your comments on what you were drinking. So I'm gonna let Chad tell us what we were drinking here. So Chad, here's the big reveal. What do we got?
Oh, we got Old Fitzgerald 1849.
Oh, nice, man.
Aged 8 years, so 90 proof. This is, legit.
Yeah, I think we looked it up with the tax stamp. I want to say it's from around 1983.
Okay.
So everything I kept looking at was stating like 78 to 85. So averaged out 83 is what I'm gonna go with.
What you got? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like for an 8-year-old, like it's so crazy the difference in color that you see on a bourbon like this. Which I mean, it's not bonded, so it could be older. But screw cap,
no cork. Who needs cork?
And it's funny for those of you people like, so Old Fitzgerald Prime is what replaced this. The 80 proof, super gold label that looks old and cheap for $10, which this probably cost $10 whenever it came out. I don't know. The label says copyright 1970, Stiltsville Distillery on the front. So it could be 1970. We don't know.
You don't know.
But it's funny because a lot of these bottles that were used for the Prime were these bottles. There were so many of them that they just never produced new ones, which is kind of why there's a shortage of Old Fitzgerald on the market right now.
Nice. And but that's a wheated mash bill, right?
Yeah, wheated mash bill.
So Matt was correct, man. Congratulations, Matt. You nailed it. It just didn't come across to me that way, but I should have known never to argue with Matt about a mash.
You see
bill.
what I'm saying now? That like Old Fitzgerald today does not
No,
taste like
not
that.
at all.
It's so
And
different.
that's Old Stitzel Weller.
Yeah.
So-
Even the bonded stuff, in the fancy decanters today. I mean, like this says on the back, distilled, aged, and bottled by Old Fitzgerald Distillery, Louisville, Kentucky, established 1849. We make fine bourbon; it's quality unchanged. So I mean, this was definitely not going into the barrel at 125 proof. That what Heaven Hill does today and what they've done recently, or even some of the older high age stuff is at 125, but it's a big difference to see when things were like 107 entry proof or 110.
No doubt, man.
And now, did the actual Julian Pappy Van Winkle, did he distill that? That should be right around that time, right?
Yeah. I mean, very, very much possible. That I'm still a little fuzzy on, but this 100% could have been his stuff for sure.
Yeah. Well, man, that was absolutely delicious. And I've had a 10-year-old, very extra old Fitzgerald from 68. And that's very reminiscent. And that was 68. It was a gold vein, very extra old. And it was my favorite bourbon I've ever had. So I'm just going to tell you, but I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't pick up that it was a wheater, man. I should have listened to you. So anyway, guys, we're at the end of round 2. So let's take a quick break. We'll get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chords line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they called Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we are sitting around the flights of the round table with my good friends. We have Matt.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Mark, you doing all right over there?
No. We have Phillip.
Hey.
We have Chad.
What's going on? This is a journey for everybody.
There you go. And hey, we got Big Mike,
Actually,
Big Chief.
It's a trip. is what I meant to say.
It is. It's a whiskey trip. And we got, speaking of whiskey trips, we have Big Chief, Mike from down in Texas. What's going on, Mike?
Let's get this ride over with.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, you know what? So this is Chad's over here struggling with a bottle trying to get it open, man. The wax is like super, crazy, right? So
Hand.
I'm so sorry, dude. That's all right. You give it a handy, you'll be fine, man. You'll get it figured out. So anyway, we're back for round 3. And this round, Matt brought us something. This has been such a fun episode for me, other than the fact that we're doing video, because it sucks trying to keep up with everybody switching cameras. But it's been nice because Phillip brought something for us to drink, Chad brought something for us to drink, and now Matt brought something for us to drink. So Matt, tell us what you have.
Absolutely, I'd love to. I have brought for us a Bridle and Bit. This is a source product from Bridle and Bit. It is distilled in Indiana, and it is a high rye MGP mash bill. So that's what, 60, 34, 6?
I'm not sure. That's a good
60,
question.
36, 4?
60, 36, 4, yes.
Yeah, 60% corn,
you,
36% rye, 4% malted barley. Barrel strength, 5-year at 115 proof. And this is double oaked. So this has been put into a second barrel or had a second barrel's influence put into it. Not sure exactly what said barrel was or anything, but this was from a local barrel pick group here in Lexington.
I gotcha. And Matt, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the fact that you and Phillip are both on the same camera, and Phillip's sitting here with his pocket knife trying to open.
Let me tell you, this is the thickest wax in the world. So, yes.
That was my nickname in
Good
high
luck
school.
with that one.
Thick wax. I can see that, man. I tell you what, with that beard, there we go. Let's get the beard on. I can see thick wax would definitely be a good nickname for you. But wait, hold on.
That's my rap name.
Speaking of beards, there's Big. Look at him. He's like on his phone. He's not even paying attention to us. Big Chief down there. He's like, oh, me?
Can he hear us?
I don't think he can hear us, man.
Your connection is unstable. Well, probably not.
I can hear you.
He's just ignoring us.
I can hear you. You're breaking up a little bit.
Get this on video, because if Iron Man gets this
Oh my
top
gosh.
off here.
Probably not. I don't think the wax has been broken.
We were just talking about Chad's beard, and I was like, speaking of beards, man, we had to put you on screen there so we could, get that screenshot of your thick, luscious goatee and beard there you got going, man. So, all right. So Matt, you got this Bridle and Bit. It's a double oaked, but do we know what that double oaked flavor is, or what the barrel was?
Rumor has it could be Brazilian Amburana.
Okay. Chad, I'm throwing it to you. Amburana, what do you smell?
Not a Benny's pick, but nice Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, that sugar milk.
There you go.
There's a little bit of like a vegetal rye grain coming through on it, which 36%. That's gonna do that. But yeah, sweetness, decadent French toast. It's I love Amburana. It's the new fad thing that's here, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, Phillip, throwing it over to you.
It smells like a bowl of cereal.
It
That's
does.
exactly what it smells
So
like.
here's the thing. I did not know. I mean, Matt, I think earlier before we started the show, you said it was a double oaked, and I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember. But as soon as I put it up to my nose and gave it just a little sniff, it's honestly, it's like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And Chad, that's kind of inside joke. You kind of busted my balls yesterday a little bit because of a post on Instagram about a bottle that was coming out that's Amburana finished, and I was like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But yeah, I mean, I completely get it. I'm not even sure that I can throw it back to Matt, but I'm going to throw it back to Phillip and Matt, even though Matt's digging on the wax. That's okay, Matt. Phillip, what else do you get, man? Anything?
I cannot get past the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Anybody that thinks people and they know stuff, it's bullshit. I even think that sometimes because I don't smell stuff. But this,
Yeah.
if you can get your hands on this bottle, everyone would say, yeah, that smells like a
It's
bowl of
100% like cereal milk. I mean, just like, you know, just
I almost pick up like a little bit of citrus though. There's almost like a little orange zest or orange peel kind of cutting through, kind of like that old fashioned type aroma with like the Angostura bitters and the orange peel zest with it. Yeah, so that kind of cuts through, but.
He liked to have a glass of orange juice with the cereal.
He eats a Cinnamon Toast Crunch with orange juice, man. Don't
you
you
ever
know
had granola with orange juice?
No, Matt, I have not.
I used to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no.
Throwing it back to you, Chad.
No, I've tried like
I'm gonna
every
put lights
liquid
on the cameras, right? So everybody knows which lights.
I've tried like every liquid with granola. I don't know why, but I settled on because it used to be milk, and then I tried juice. Apple juice works well.
Interesting.
Don't know. But speaking of granola, Cinnamon Toast Crunch granola bar from the cereal aisle.
That's what you're getting on this one. Right on bet. Very nice. Okay, Mike, I know you're not drinking. You're not drinking this with us. But what are you drinking? You got a new Riff bottle sitting there. I can see.
Yeah, it's almost gone too. So I'm not
that's the turkey wheat.
Yeah, the red turkey wheat. This is one of my favorite bottles.
That's good stuff.
I love it. 70% corn, 25% red turkey wheat, and 5% malted barley. Some people ask me what that red turkey wheat is. It brings a little bit more spice to the life than a regular winter wheat. Super cinnamon on this. Almost, if you've ever had a cinnamon toothpick back in the day, Mark, I know me and you probably the only two that had this because these young kids right here, playing video games.
Hey, candy cigarettes were still a thing when I was growing up.
And I picked up a pack of cinnamon toothpicks at Cracker Barrel.
Hey, Mike, when I was a kid, I used to take a pot of water and get the cinnamon drops and actually drop it in there, and then take an entire pack of toothpicks and drop the toothpicks in the pot on the stove and boil them in the cinnamon oil water just to make my own cinnamon toothpicks to have.
And
did you take and sell them at school?
I should have, but no.
That story sounds familiar.
Yeah, he went out to the whale, got a bucket of water, got the fire started.
Yeah, by stove he means the fire pit next to the barn.
Gosh, all right. You know what? Let me say it one more time. You guys all suck. Okay, so back to you, except for you, Mike. Go ahead, man. Tell us what you got there.
So this right here, this red turkey wheat, something special, is only $50 for this bottle. So,
ridiculous.
This might be one of those bottles you need to go buy and just hide away
if you can find it
and stuff.
I have a bottle of, just so you know,
if you can find it.
I have a bottle of that on the shelf that's unopened, still in the closet over here.
I made sure to get two because once I tasted it, and I had some friends who were like, it's fine, you know, it's no different than like a Maker's cask strength or something. And then I got my own, I tried it, and I was like, I have to get another one.
Yeah.
So my first bottle was $50 retail. My second bottle I paid $80 for, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
You think somebody's lying when they say that? They're like, it's
now
like
let me ask you, is that those
Makers as we did?
Is that the friends that have never tasted before because they couldn't get their hands on a bottle? Because I know plenty of people like that that be like, "Oh, this sucks," and I'm like, "Yeah, where'd you get a bottle at? You know, how much do you pay for it?" Well, a sample. And I'm like,
so yes, they've had it, and they had a bottle. I think some people's expectations are too high when it comes to products. Like, especially with New Riff, I've kind of learned and I love everything they do, but I've kind of gone in with New Riff to be just don't have an expectation, because some things are great, some things are just okay. And I really went into that, like, how good can because they're all brewers at heart. Like, all their stuff's been funky and crazy. Like, how good can this be? And I was like, holy shit. Like, if we're talking about like modern day, like, hold on to this bottle, that's one of them, 100%.
That's interesting, because I had recently, what was it, Mark? Do you remember when we were drinking at Liquor Barn? It wasn't the winter wheat. It was like a chocolate malted.
It wasn't the Aristook you brought, or
it wasn't the Aristook.
Are you talking about the winter whiskey, the oatmeal stout bourbon? Those are like oats
no, it was some like
was it a New Riff?
Yeah, it was.
Was it the Maltster? Didn't they have one called Maltster?
No, it wasn't.
Was it? I can't
It wasn't
remember which
Maltster,
one
but it was some sort of like a malted rye or malted.
It was, but I can't
There was a
remember.
Balboa one time.
It wasn't the Balboa, but anyway.
Well, I mean, at this point, we've kind of exhausted their.
I know, like,
Can you
hey,
just pull up the website?
Good story, Matt. Way to go.
Great. Okay, back to no. Just,
But I thought it was not that good. It was way, way too chocolatey, way too malted.
I seriously think you're thinking of the winter whiskey.
It might be the winter whiskey.
The winter whiskey has a black label. It's like script writing, and it's like glittery almost.
I know exactly what I know what you're talking about, Chad. I
Yeah.
just can't remember which one it was. It wasn't the Balboa. It wasn't the Aristook. It wasn't whatever came out with the Aristook as well.
Crystal malt. Yeah,
The other
Aristook.
malt setter.
Yeah,
It wasn't the malted rye.
the back setter was that? There was one that came out with the. Was it called the
That,
back
well, yeah,
setter?
that was the peated backset one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was not peated, but anyway.
What you're
I
describing
digress, but-
sounds like a winter whiskey.
Yeah,
That
it might have
sounds
been, but it was not for me.
You don't like beer though. Yeah, you don't like stouts. You don't like heavy beers.
When I did drink beer, actually, I was a stout drinker.
Do you?
He's
you
like,
just
I
not
don't
like
drink
them
beer
now?
no more. I just sip my whiskey.
That's how he keeps his figure. Look at us. We all
yeah,
drink
damn.
beer.
I'm a beer with dinner every night kind of guy.
Let's go around the table here. Beer drinker, beer drinker, beer drinker. Mike's a beer drinker.
Man, you don't even have to ask me if I'm a beer drinker.
But wait, back to Matt. Not a beer drinker.
Yeah. One of these is not like the other.
Matt, let me ask you a question, buddy.
What's up, Mike?
Were you a beer drinker back in the day? Did you pound them down?
I was never one much for pounding too hard on them, just because I don't have that much room in myself to drink that many beers.
He's just a little guy.
But
Michelob Ultra then. Michelob Ultra is your beer.
Oh, hot damn. Yeah, my dad put down a 30 rack of Mick Ultra on the beach.
I will say I did, when I was living in Colorado, I did the Coors tour. Man alive, that is the best Coors and Coors Light you will ever have in your life. Because it's not even left the brewery.
Yeah. I can
You are
imagine
drinking it like straight out of the
that.
Rockies.
Like straight out of the barrel.
That was
So Matt,
some good Coors. Yes.
so I used to be stationed in St. Louis. That's where I retired out of. But I worked right below Budweiser. Like we could walk to Budweiser every day. And I had a guy that worked for me. And every day I'd be like, "What you doing, man? What you doing, Dylan?" He'd be like, going on that Budweiser tour."
That's
I'm like, "Dang, man, did you do that yesterday?" Every day, religiously, he would be like, "Did you know that you can get like 6 beers in there for free before you go home?" And I'm like,
that is exactly the way the Coors tour works, but you can only take it once a day, but you can take it every day. So on Fridays,
Holy
all the
crap,
college kids from the
yeah.
Colorado School of Mines in Golden, Colorado would pregame at the brewery because you get like 4 beer, and it's a self-guided tour, so you can literally just get the wristband, walk straight to the gift shop, get your drinks.
I gotta
And there
do
you
this,
go.
man. This is like
Sounds like I'm making another trip to Colorado.
I've never been to Colorado, but like now, like that's even more. Yeah, my
Can
grandma
we get
keeps
some
saying, "Go."
distilleries to do that stuff around here, man? That we can just walk in. I mean, you get samples, but can we just like full on pours?
I mean, if you break into a rick house and you have a drill, it's kind of like
if you're Matt,
the same thing.
You might as well turn Matt loose in a rick house with a drill. It's a scary freaking sight, but it's awesome.
Come back the next morning, still no whiskey.
Oh, goodness gracious.
or
guys.
you could just start a podcast. I mean,
yeah.
So should we talk about something this round? We talked about what, Mike? Did we talk about this one? We have, haven't we? The Bridle bit. We
talked about
talked about the
confused
nose.
Yeah,
so-
we've talked about the nose. We've not gone through the taste profile yet.
All right, so we should probably do that because we're not at the end of round 3, but you know what? We're getting there. So let's talk about that. What are you guys picking up? I'm going to throw it back to, let's see, as I look around, I'm thinking, Chad.
I'll take it. Chad's taking a few first ones
He
already.
gave me a wink, man. He
Yeah.
just gave me a
Oh,
wink.
all right.
So I'm going to use my
Cinnamon
first
Toast
two.
Crunch.
I'm going to pass it over to Matt.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm
All right.
This is like Congress, right? You can say
He's gonna cede
I'm
his
gonna
time.
Yield, I'm going to yield my
Yep.
time to the.
You're so easy though. He just winked at you, and you're like, "Oh, Chad's the man."
Hey,
Come on.
hey,
Let me tell you, man.
Can't give all my
That ma-
secrets away.
that many drinks.
It doesn't matter who winks at me at this age, looking like this. If I get a wink, you're going to get the attention that you desire.
That's
man.
right. Chad is Mark's cougar bait.
Oh, as Chad, he already finished his cougar bait tonight.
Mine
Man,
is gone.
you guys are on. Matt, take it away, man.
All right. So the first thing before we even get to the taste on this and dissecting flavors, man alive, is this oily and mouth coating.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other influence is in there and if what's going on, but it coats your mouth like syrup. But definitely that sweetness, and I think more on the palate, I'm tasting some of that high rye, a little bit of the peppercorn, a little bit of heat cuts through, some of the sweetness, some of that orange. It kind of just tastes like an old fashioned.
Yeah.
To me, like really sweet. A little bit of orange zest, a lot of cinnamon, those cinnamon sugars. Our Cinnamon Toast Crunch is definitely there. A lot of little molasses. It almost tastes like artificially sweet.
I would agree. So let me switch back over to myself and ask the question. What was the proof on this one again, Matt?
115.
Okay. I was going to say, because I could kind of tell, I got the sensation of the higher proof. I mean, you get that rye spice, like you said, no doubt about it. But you get a totally different sensation off of the heat from the proof on it. Phillip, throwing it to you, man.
The oil is, and I was going to ask Chad because he's the Ambriana guy, which we're assuming that's what this is. Do they make Ambriana barrels, or is that something that's like staves or wood chips or?
No, I mean it could be staves and wood chips, but no,
They're like crazy expensive, right?
Yeah, they are not cost efficient, and they take. So for those of you who are wondering if this will, I don't know if this will show or not, but this is a barrel from Starlight that is an Ambriana barrel. So yeah, they're not cheap. They're expensive, and there's a waiting list, and not all Ambriana, not all Brazilian oak is created equal. There's a lot of actually like species of Brazilian oak that aren't even registered with the FDA as safe for human consumption, like for finishing, aging, so on and so forth.
Nice.
So that it has to be very particular, and that's where I think a lot of the modern day bourbon drinker profile who like Ambriana, not Ambriana. I don't know her, but I think that's where the influence comes from, because some of the other ones are said to have super bitter, floral, just flavors the human body does not want, which explains this. Cinnamon sugar, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It is very much a dessert profile, which I agree with Matt. A little bit of that artificial sweetener, but it tastes like a barrel aged old fashioned. Cinnamon sugar on top of it, a little bit of cherry orange zest or candied orange zest, and I mean bitters. You said bitters earlier. I use cherry bitters, and I got a note of that just spice without no discerning like something, and that made a lot of sense.
So it's like an old fashioned that has a one of those Luxardo cherries that's been rolled in cinnamon sugar and tossed into the glass. Would that be?
Yeah, like if you macerated a cherry with a churro inside an old fashioned.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
a cherry filled churro. That's a good example.
Yeah,
I think that's
Usually I use like chocolate, like a lot of times with like this Ambriana stuff, I'll get like a heavy like chocolate fudge, dark chocolate cocoa. No, but with this one, it's very much orange cherry forward, which is different because I'm not used to that. But yeah, 100% churro muddled cherry.
Yeah,
and the reason I asked Chet is because it's a 5-year and it's so oily. So I was wondering if an Ambriana barrel would be have more oils in it that could transfer. But I mean, it's very tasty.
I'm curious on the
like
finishing
I've ever
time.
tasted before.
Because like Starlight, they'll do just a few weeks with Ambriana.
Yeah.
This tastes like it could have been in there for quite a bit.
For a little longer than intended, yeah.
So are these the barrel? Is it the Ambriana, Ambriana? Are they the barrels that leak really bad, or do you know?
A Mizunara leaks really bad.
Mizunara. I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking.
I think Ambriana's temperamental, but like Mizunara's a terrible ones to work with.
I was thinking Mizunara. So Mike, I'm going to throw it back to you down there on your red turkey wheat, right?
Red turkey wheat.
What do you think, man? What are you getting?
I think I drank a little too much whiskey. I needed that after standing in line for my license plates today.
Oh man, screw that.
Without a utility bill in your name, and my wife put all the utilities in her name, so we had to call around and get the utilities put in my name. But the lady was like, "You got to go get a Texas Real ID first before you get license plates."
Son of a bitch!
But you can't get a driver's license without the license plates. So I got a little pissed off and I said, "Who makes these rules? 'Cause I'm gonna change this shit."
But you know what? We need to have a conversation with the man right now. So can we get the man on the phone and have a conversation?
This whiskey right here is sticky sweet. It's like drinking a nice tea that you put too much honey in.
Oh, nice.
I really, really love it. It's got a good spice to it. Somebody said that Maker's Mark cast strength. I got to totally disagree with that. This is a little bit sweeter than that. For me, it meets everything that I need out of a wheat. I like the high wheat, that 25%. Now, going back to those barrels and how long that stayed in there, if that's stored in a shipping container at some point,
truth,
that's and it's not in an open air rick house, that is gonna
concentrate
the aging process.
Yeah, good point, man.
Because if you've ever been inside a shipping container, which I have before, when I was down in Haiti, they made one of those into a let's just call it a big giant porta potty. And if you shut the doors in Haiti, in that giant porta potty, it was 40 foot long and there was 20 toilets in there. So just think about that.
God.
Wow, you get to know people pretty well.
Yeah, you do, but it would be in Haiti. It'd be about 110 degrees down maybe in the summertime.
Yeah,
nope.
But inside that shipping container, man, good. I'd say good 150.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
Imagine those barrels in that hot Kentucky sun. The maturation process is just pushing that whiskey in there so fast and keeping it in there. And, I don't think it was aged that long in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would make sense if it was just stave aged inside the barrel itself. Maybe why we're getting a little bit more influence. It's touching a lot more of that Amberana. And also the bottle here has a little bit of sediment at the bottom. So would make me believe that maybe there were just staves or some sort of oak that was dipped inside there and left in the barrel inside that Connex to sit around.
I might have actually rolled that. I might have rolled that barrel, Matt.
You've rolled the fear right out of it and into the bottle here.
All right, guys. This has been a fun episode, even though we've been trying to do video with it.
Listen,
right?
with trying to do video, have topics we didn't stay on top of.
Wow. Wow.
Behind Dusty Pours. This was fun.
I think this is a gem. Everybody go to the YouTube Bourbon Life
page.
Check this out when the episode releases.
What I'm hoping is actually that all the video is recording simultaneously and Mark thought that his switcher mattered. So it's a constant feed of the last 2 hours.
There's 4 different feeds. And I'm going to go back and try to have to edit all this stuff out. So before we wrap it up, let's get some final thoughts. And you know what? Chad's busy on his phone, so I'm going to throw it to Phillip.
The Ambriana, or we think it's Ambriana, the Bridle and Bit, it's very delicious. I still have questions on how they got it to taste like that. That could just be, my ignorance of how this is done, but it's very good. And shout out to Home Bar for this badass hat that was here waiting for me.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Matt, what about you, man? Final thoughts, not just on the whiskey, but overall, the grand scheme of things. Final thoughts.
Oh, and the whole gestalt of the show?
Yeah.
Well, the whiskey, Mike, you brought up a good word. It's you were talking about your Texas, your turkey wheat there. But it's got a sticky feel to it, sweet and sticky. I got to echo what Philip's saying, that they got some flavor into this that I've never tasted before in some bourbon, but I enjoy it, I suppose, if I'm not afraid to say it. So Good show tonight too. Thanks, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. Final thoughts, man, before you're sending it home tonight.
So in case we forget, hi, I'm Chad with at My Daily Bourbon.
Yeah. Oh,
That's right. Tags. Yeah, handles. Thanks, Phillip, for the Crown Royal. Thanks, Matt, for the Bridle and Bit. The Bridle and Bit's good. I do like it. Whether it be staves, chips, chunks, or a full barrel that it was aged in, there's a ton of that Amburana influence in there. And, I think whether, even if it was like a concentrated aging method from being in the shipping container, I really enjoy it. I'm a big fan of the Amburana stuff. I've been doing a lot of stuff at home with chips and different bourbons, which I forgot to bring that my little experiment that I did in February. But I've enjoyed all the pours. We're having fun. It's good. It's good to look and actually be able to look at Mike in the face.
That's right, man.
And look at him try and tell me that old tub sucks. Mike, you suck. But that's I've had a good time tonight.
Awesome, Mike. Final thoughts from you, man, before we wrap it up.
Well, folks, if you want to get rid of that old tub, you can make it into some beard balm with some oil. Put it in your beard because it sucks to drink. No, seriously.
Oh, man.
Make sure you make it to Bourbon on the Banks. Come see the old Big Chief. You can find me on Instagram at Big Bourbon Chief and the Whiskey Trip. Make sure you give old Mark, the Bourbon Life, and Matt a great review on there. They need these reviews, people.
That's right, we do, man. We need all the help we can get.
Talk about need some help. This page over here, Bourbon Hunt KY. I don't do reels, and I've got shit on my Instagram.
Huge shout out to all of our veterans out there. Hats off to you. Huge shout out to all of our law enforcement out there in these trying times. I love you all. Mark, man, it's been a great night.
Yeah, man. This has been a lot of fun, and yeah, I hope the whole video thing works out. We'll find out. Phillip, yeah. I'm going to throw it back to you, man, because you did not plug yourself on Instagram, and you know what? You need to do that.
So you can find me at Bourbon Hunting KY on Instagram. Good luck. Obviously, most people don't find my posts anymore, so it might be out there. I might just be chatting with myself. Who knows? But that's where you can find me.
Wait, hey, Matt, I'm going to throw... Oh, wait, Matt doesn't have an Instagram, so that's all right.
Matt's Instagram is more popular than mine right now.
Yeah, Matt, who does not have an Instagram, is more popular than Phillip's Instagram.
We'll still make we still need to do the Super Matt fan.
Yes, yeah, the Super Matt fan page. We're going to do that eventually.
It'll happen, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks you guys for hanging out. Thanks for the great pours. Thanks for bringing the stuff, man. That was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys bringing the different bottles tonight. 1972 Crown Royal and 19 something.
Yeah.
Old Fitz, man. Matt nailed it on the mash bill. I should have known better than to even question his judgment on that. But man, that's the kind of bourbon I could drink like every day.
Yeah,
all day long.
Yeah, Caroline was like, that's what I call a breakfast pour. And I'm like, I've never had it before. And she's like, oh, yeah, just wait.
Yeah, seriously,
that lower entry proof. There's a huge difference.
It's crazy.
You lose all that burn.
Imagine if Michter's did a weeded bourbon. Like if Michter, they go in at 103.
Yeah,
if they did a hot damn, if they did a weeded bourbon.
Yeah. Man,
Big Chief and I would be standing there waiting in line for two months.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. It's been great. And Matt, thank you for bringing the Bridle bit. That was like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. No question about that, man. And we got a few other pours I think we're going to maybe sip on here after hours here. Mike, I wish you were here with us, man. I'm sorry you're not here with us in person, but we appreciate you joining us from Texas. Hopefully this whole video thing is going to work out. Everybody will get to see what we got to do tonight. But we do want to thank all of our sponsors, and we are the Bourbon Life Podcast. Man, I forgot to say that we're presented by Old Dominick tonight. Daggone it.
I
meant to say that from the very beginning, and I should have said that. So Old Dominick, I'm so sorry, but we are the what? Go ahead, Chad.
I was gonna say what you need to do is do like a cut in of like, like before we start the show, like freeze frame, and just to let you guys know, we are the Bourbon Life presented by Old Dominick.
I may have to come back and redo that, because I've not even thought though about the ads, because the ads are all audio, so we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, we'll do that. So But we appreciate that. I appreciate Old Dominick. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Thank you, our listeners, for listening in with us today, whatever time of day it is that you're listening. We appreciate you joining us. And with that said, well, I should say, if you want to reach out to us, please do so. You can email us at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. You can also direct message us there on Instagram or Facebook. Join the Bourbon Lifers. We'd love to have you. Also, you can reach out to Mike at the Whiskey Trip. Find him on Instagram and Facebook as well, and reach out to him. He'd love to hear from you. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up, send us with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the Bourbon Life.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the Bourbon Life.